Hi, everybody. Welcome back to our fifth and final Winter Carnival project of Saturday. So this is the last one. You can go back and watch the replays, make them throughout the day, and just enjoy an afternoon of crafty goodness. All right, so this is called a Bagalope. And what it is you take a standard envelope that we have there through Stampin' Up, and you make a bag out of it. So it's a Bagalope. It's a bag made out of an envelope. All right, I have to have a little confession. This is the one that I'm a little bit, I don't want to say scared, but it's like I got fingers crossed that it works well live on it. It's an easy concept. I don't know why. I'm hoping that it goes good. All right, so what we're going to need on this one is we're going to need a standard card size envelope. We are going to need from our Fancy Floral, we are going to need a 2 3/4, 2 3/4 by 4 3/4 section. On this one, what I used is this paper here, and that has that on the background, and I cut it across here at the 3 3/4 because I absolutely loved this focal image here. Now in our paper pack we do have 4 sheets of the same, so I could have used this for a secondary one, but I love this particular part of this paper so much for this project here. If I was going to mass produce this, I would use this, and you could get two Bagalopes out of 1 sheet of designer paper. Okay, but that's the one that I'm going to use. I'm going to set the other stuff off to the side. Other things, and let's get our kit out. So for those of you that got the material kits to go in this bag, what we're going to take out is the linen thread. You're going to use that, and you're going to use this tag, and the tag was made from the tailor-made tags dies on it. And then because I wasn't sure if everybody had a circle punch or a circle die, I did go ahead, and even though I was initially thinking that you would use your own shimmer paper for this, I just thought this way everyone can have the same look, and I die cut the circle out for you. So that's all in there too. There are 2 projects in your packet that I have it staged in the envelope, but you won't use the envelope. So let me see here. So if you have this one with this seafoam green in it, carefully take out all of your other goodies that are in here that we'll do tomorrow. But this is one of the envelopes that you can use for your Bagalope, as well as when you have this large Starry Sky one, we won't use this envelope either. So again, be very careful when you take all of the stuff out of that. But these are the 2 envelopes that actually we won't use in it. I purposely, gave you 2 just because of trial and error on this. Okay, so just to make sure. I'm making it sound like it's more difficult than what it is. It really isn't. But you could make 2 of them out of the envelopes that you have with your kit. Okay, let's get started making this. All right, what we're going to do first is we're going to seal the envelope up. So I'm going to go ahead and do that right now. All right, so we're going to seal that up. So we're going to close the envelope. All right, let me get rid of some of this stuff here, just because I need to bring in my trimmer. All right, I've all seen where I have everything of that. Let's just make sure that it's good to go. All right, what we want to do with our trimmer is we're going to trim off one of the short edges. This is going to be the opening of our bag. Okay, so it doesn't have to be very much. You can turn it upside down if you want to. I'm going to flip it over just because I want to make sure that I don't want to snag my trim or my blade. Okay, darker the deeper, so the dark one's the cutting blade. And we're gonna trim off a little bit of the top. All right, now I'm going to go ahead and take the blade and move it down so I don't inadvertently do it. And now we're going to score on 3 sides, 1, 2, 3, 2 long, and the bottom at 3/4 of an inch. So let me just bring in the instructions again so that you can see it. You can pause the video, and then you can do it again. But we're going to score 3/4 on 3 sides, the 2 long, and the short side that we did not cut. All right, so I'm going to make sure I have the opening at the top. Each one of these is 1/4 of an inch, so I can count over 1, 2, 3. Make sure I have my scoring tool. I'm going to go up and down a couple of times. Then I'm going to turn it, go over 1, 2, 3 to 3/4 of an inch. Score it some more. Oh, I did that. Oh, that might have cut it. Okay, you don't want to press too hard. See, I was like getting too rough with it. All right, so then you can flip it over. If you want to stay with the same one, don't press as hard as I did. Goodness. And 1, 2, 3. Now I probably didn't press hard enough. There we go. I really bared down on it. We don't want to do that. All right. So now while we have it flat, if you want to do any stamping on it, let me bring in my sample. Where did it go? We want to do the stamping on the back side of it, which happens to be the smooth side. We're going to cover up the side that has the flap on it. So on the smooth side of it, we're going to do some stamping if you want to. So I'm going to bring in images from my Happiness Abounds stamp set, and I'm going to mirror the colors that are in the designer paper that I'm going to use. So like there's my color inspiration. And go ahead and on the larger one, I'm going to use Pool Party. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and just stamp all around. So again, people will be able to see this on the back side of it. And then because these are going to be the sides of our Bagalope, I'm also going to bring in a little of the patterns on this side, but I don't have to stamp like all through it because this is going to be covered. Okay, so I've got that image. I'm going to take this image here. This is the image that's actually going to be on the front that I'm using. So I'm going to introduce that one into it as well. And I'm going to use Crumb Cake. And let's get the main side here. So again, just random stamping. Get a little bit here. And then lastly, I'm going to bring in the Evening Evergreen and the leaf image from the floral set. You can do as much or as little of stamping as what you'd like on here. I'm going to start over here, kind of fill in the empty spaces, make a nice little like stamp collage. And then bring it in a little bit over on the other side. Again, it's just going to be where the score line's at that we'll see. Okay. So we've got our stamping done on our Bagalope. Now we're going to open this up. Well, let's go ahead. I'm going to kind of give this a little bit of a shake real quick. I'm going to follow the score lines and fold my envelope. So just kind of, you have to kind of force this just a tad. And then with our bone folder, we'll go one way, open it up, and go the other way. So the envelope paper that's used for the envelopes has a little different look and feel. And look, I've got that all torn, darn it. I'll get her taped up. So that was when you press too hard on your scoring. And I'm going to go one way, and then I'm going to go backwards on the other. So you want to give it just enough pressure, but not too much pressure. And this is the bottom. And we're going to go back and forth on this too. Okay. All right, now we're going to open this up. This is our bag. And going to get these corners here. I'm going to open this up. And this is going to, like I said, I was nervous about this to begin with on it. And we're going to flatten out the bottom. And then we're going to pinch these sides where it forms a little diamond. And we're going to close it. It will play a little hard at first, but just keep working it. Just keep working it. And then this does have a little diamond here, and this is going to be kind of goofy since well, both sides are going to look like this, okay? And then once you get this, if you kind of crease the sides, it kind of helps the bottom to form. See how this is going to have a square bottom? And then this little diamond, we're just going to kind of force it down. And then that becomes our bag. So this looks like those little white bags that we get for treat holders, only we can use our envelopes for it. And that's what it looks like. When you don't do it too hard. Like I said, this was the one that I was like, oh my gosh, I should have done the scoring ahead of time. But you've got two of them. If you mess up, you can do it again. I've already got this stamped, and I'm just going to go with it. And pretend that's all together, and we'll tape that side down as well, or we'll glue that side down as well. So that was when you pressed too hard. You should have just stopped D and done it again. But that's the fun of taking classes and stuff like that. It's like you never know until you try. But look, I love this. Like you could just stamp that and have it ready to go, right? All right, let's go ahead and I'm going to close this up. And that's what's kind of fun too. You can close this up and store it. But we'll go ahead and close this up, and we're going to put our designer paper on it. So this was 2 3/4 by 3/4. I'm so smiling at myself right now. It's not even funny. And this is going to cover the front of it. And this is why we stamped a little bit onto the front as well. Okay. So what I like to do here on our little Bagalope is however you want to tie it. Like if you want to use a clip again like we did before on our other bag, or if you want to use a ribbon and a hole punch. And that's what I'm going to do here today. So with this closed, the top closed, I am going to, like, here's the center, and I'm just going to go over a little bit and go over a little bit here. I'm just eyeballing. You can measure that if you want, but I'm going to do that. And then you would fill in whatever your goodies are on your bag, and then when you're ready to close it, we're going to take our beautiful pool party ribbon that was part of class. I've got about 18 inches here, and I'm going to feed it in through the back side. Oh, I wish I wouldn't have pressed so hard down on that. And we'll just get a nice smooth backing to it, and then we'll tie a pretty bow. Go ahead and I would encourage you to practice on a few, or to practice it and just kind of get the feel for it. It does feel, I'll be real honest, maybe just a tad bit awkward because you're forcing the paper on the bottom here in another direction, but this does make that little, you have the score mark that intersects, and then it does do that really nicely. All right, so we've got our ribbon and our bow. Kind of trim up the tails on that just a little bit. I did 18 inches just to give us plenty of room. If you can do it with, 16 or 14, you can feel free to do that. Or what I like to do a lot of the time is just leave the ribbon on the spool, and then I know. All right, so we have that. Now let's go ahead and we're going to color our beautiful flower that was part of that Happiness Abounds bundle. And let's see here. We're going to take our Pool Party blend, and I'm going to blend the flower, or to color all of the flower. And we'll do that. This will match beautifully with our ribbon and the like the paper background in there. It's just such a pretty color combination of this Pool Party, the brown tones, the green tones, super rich. And then I think the gold just kind of accents and highlights the brown. It really brings the brown out of it nicely. If you notice here, I've got a little smudgy of crumb cake on it. I kind of did that on purpose just to kind of, bring the color palette and kind of the swirly art feel of the paper into this. So, we can add a little bit of our crumb cake through. You don't have to be precise of where you do it. You can just kind of add a little bit. I'm just randomly introducing the color. Just something like that if you wanted to. Or you could leave it plain. It's totally, completely up to you. And now I think on this one, I'm going to add a little Wink of Stella. Just see, yep, here we go. So Wink of Stella will, give us that shimmer and shine and kind of just keep this all nice and beautiful. Okay, get this down here so we can see it. All right, let's do some stamping. This is all from the Happiness Abounds stamp set. Happiness Abounds. And I'm going to do a little best wishes on this. Graduation will be here before we know it. I do have some bridal showers. So, I could put a little gift card in this and maybe something else with it. A little best wishes, no matter what it is. And I'm going to stamp it. I don't know if you noticed here, but I'm going to stamp it just a little high because I want to leave room for the flower to go on it. So I'm going to do best wishes, and I'm using Evening Evergreen for that. All right. Now I'm going to go ahead and take that linen thread, and I gave everybody plenty of it just so that you wouldn't have to struggle with trying to tie a little itty bitty part of it. But we're going to take our linen thread and we're going to attach it to our bow. So I'm going to go ahead and put this through. Whoops, where are you? There we go. And I'm going to just tie a knot and anchor it up next to the bow part, or the knot part of the bow. Get that tied really nice and tight. And then I can move this down closer to the center of the bow. Once I'm happy with where it's at, I'm going to go ahead and just tie a knot. And then loosely let the tails of the linen thread kind of dangle. Okay, so I'm not going to try to hide the linen thread. It's just going to kind of act as another little texture to it. All right, so we've got that. Let's go ahead and next we're going to put our beautiful gold shimmer paper on, and it's going to kind of be underneath of it. So I'm going to put it just right onto the one of the sides, the right side of our gold shimmer paper, and do about like that. Okay, so that looks like that. And then I'm just, because there's a lot of elements here, I'm just simply going to lay this on top of it as well. I'm not going to raise it up. You could if you wanted to. I just kind of liked for some reason, I liked the flatness of it this time, which is very rare. You hardly ever hear me say like, oh, let's not, you know, pop it up with a dimensional. But I kind of, like I said, I kind of liked the uniformity of this. And put that on. Kind of stage that. Even on a card, look how pretty that would be as a sentiment just on a card front if you didn't want to do your Bagalope. Pretty. All right, let's not forget our gems this time. All right, I'm going to grab kind of these. Like I said, they kind of will read brown a little bit. And then this will pick up the blue, depending on which ones that you want to do. I'm using the larger ones here. Let's just kind of, and this is just gonna, the tag's just gonna be loose. So we'll put one over here, get one of the larger ones over on this side, add a couple on the tag itself. I'm running out of little ones. Let's see, we'll go one, put one of these on it. Two, and a blue one. And there we go. We've got our Bagalope. So cute. And then when the recipient, you know, wants to open it up, they open it up like that. Because we've got the linen thread tied to the ribbon itself, you know, it's not gonna, they don't have to rip open the bag. You know, they can just untie the ribbon and go from there. If you wanted to, you could just knot it. If you don't like to make bows, you know, you could simply just make a pretty knot. I think bows are easier if you don't want people to rip them open, because sometimes knots, people would tend to do that. All right, that is our Bagalope and our fifth and final make and take of today. And let me bring back all of those that we've made here so far today. So for our winter crafty carnival, we made a box out card. We made a 6x6 little treat holder. We made a card using paper strips. We have a covered notebook. And we have a Bagalope. So from our gorgeous, gorgeous fancy floral paper, the shimmer paper, our pool ribbon, and our iridescent gems, we are well on the way to a bunch of fun crafts. All right, everybody, keep, as you come on and watching the replays, keep making those comments. Sometime tonight, let's call it at 5 o'clock, make comments today through 5 o'clock, and then I will be drawing, like someone will win 1, 2, 3, 4 of these. Now I can't send this one, but comments that are on these 4 videos for sure, I'll be able to draw, and you'll get the actual project on it. On this one, I'll send a card. It won't be one of these, but I'll send a card if you want to comment on the notebook. And I will see everybody back here on Sunday morning. I'll start again at 9 o'clock and we'll do another 5 projects. Keep refreshing this throughout the day, just in case like there's any additional information and posting. There won't be any more videos for the day, but there might be some additional information. All right, I will talk to everybody tomorrow and have a great Saturday. Happy crafting. Bye-bye.